We are with criteria 7, institutional values and best practices. Criteria 7 has a very large number of metrics. Let's look into each one of them. 7.1 happens to be about institutional values and social responsibilities. When we talk of 7.1.1, it talks about gender equity. Equity is the pathway to equality. Until and unless there is equity, there would not be a proper behavior amongst either of the genders. The impartiality would not come in. This particular criteria talks about the safety and security, counseling and gender equity. When we talk of safety on the campus, it includes 24/7 computer room operation, buildings, car parks and property security, CCTV. It includes visual crime patrols, it includes escort assistance, it may include crowd control, it may include a variety of things. It would include common room for boys and girls. It would include every aspect whereby the gender safety is being taken care of. It will include gender counseling, which can be free and confidential, individual counseling without any kind of limits. Students can come with a variety of concerns to get their issues sorted out. This could be related to, not only related to the campus, it may be related to anxiety, it may be related to depression, it may be related to stress, it may be related to loneliness, it may be related to adjusting to the college environments. The focus on empowerment, personal growth and equality, all these aspects do count over here when we talk about gender-based counseling. So far as availability is concerned on the campus, it could be common rooms, it should be daycare centers, it could be any relevant data that you need to provide. When we talk of the staff, then in that case, a daycare center for young children can also count out. I recollect out one of the organizations in Mumbai, Shetty College, where they have a daycare center which includes the situation where the lady teachers are able to bring their children and keep them over there so that they are able to work very happily. When we come to the next aspect called as 7.1.2, if 7.1.1 was related to the genders, 7.1.2 is about environmental consciousness and sustainability. It includes alternate energy sources and energy conservation. Now, here, what all those are those things that the organization has so that it is able to have an alternate energy sources. For example, solar panels are the most common ones. So in that case, geotagged photos of solar panels would be extremely important. We have already talked about geotagging in criterion 4. Now, besides these, depending on the availability of the campus, it could be solar panels, it could be windmills, it could be petrol from plastic. For example, there are institutions who collect the unwanted plastic, convert this unwanted plastic into petrol, and this petrol is then again provided to the students so that you are able to see that the petrol is being used and the plastic is being converted. So biofuels is yet another factor that you are able to see. Geothermal power that you are able to see. Biogas that you are able to see. All these come under criteria 7.1.2. A variety of alternative energies initiatives are being taken by the organizations. What is asked over here is the total power requirement met by the renewable energy source. The total power requirement, the renewable energy source the renewable energy is generated and the energy supplied to the grid. All these are expected. The, the electricity bill which tells that so much of electricity has been provided to the grid would be expected over here. 7.1.3 talks about the various facilities in the institution for the management of types of degradable and non-degradable wastes. The separation of the waste is the biggest issue in India. Separation of the waste into biodegradable and non-biodegradable wastes really plays a very important role. When we talk of institutions, these institutions, if they have their canteens, they are going to have a biodegradable waste. The college itself is going to produce a large amount of non-degradable waste. For example, paper, glass, metal, plastic, all these are being created out. The degradable waste should be degraded so that some kind of energy is being generated out or some kind of product is being generated out. Keep in mind, even a small sized organization which may be having up to 1,000 students can play a very big role in pollution, and therefore it is the responsibility of the organizations to see to it that a good quality of waste management system is present. We have to explain out the waste management system over here in this particular issue. You are able to see the liquid waste, how is it being degraded, the solid waste, how is it being used. For example, paper you can have the paper being sent to the paper factory whereby a recycling of the paper is being done. Glass, plastic, metal, how best are they being separated out is what is going to matter out over here. Then we come to liquid waste, bio-toilets. For example, Indian Railways has changed its entire system of toilets to bio-toilets. By putting these bio-toilets, they have in a way assured out that this toxic, harmful waste which is potentially able to create more and more diseases is being degraded out there itself. Then you are able to see a variety of e-waste, 7.1.3, which talks about e-waste management. Now this e-waste management is a waste whereby you are able to see electronic waste gets generated. We use mobiles, we use computers, television sets, CFL tube lights, washing machines, cell phones, video games, electric fans, tape recorders, then a variety of wires, a very large number of wires that you are able to see. All these make up the e-waste. How is it that we are going to take care of this e-waste? It could be collection of e-waste and then providing it to the vendor for which an agreement would be necessary between the organization and the party. Sorting of e-waste, processing of e-waste, repairing of e-waste, recycling of the e-waste, dismantling of the e-waste, e-waste recovery component, residue and disposal of e-waste, all these can come under it. The easiest way would be contract with an e-waste collection agency to see to it that the e-waste is periodically collected and is sent for further processing. Now these are the important aspects that come in criteria 7.1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. 1.1 talks about gender, 1.2 talks about energy and 1.3 talks about waste collection. Now these three aspects make up a big difference on the campus, and therefore criteria 7.1.1, 2 and 3, they talk about these three different aspects. A variety of different aspects are counted in this criteria.